Yo, what happens when a leader who built an empire confronts the man who once enforced his rule, only to see that same man build a rival kingdom from its ruins? This isn't just a story about betrayal, it's a story about legacy, ambition, and blood. Tonight, Roman Reigns didn't just reclaim the spotlight, he reignited the war for the soul of the bloodline itself. The silence before the storm. The air inside the arena was thick with anticipation. The lights dimmed, the audience roared, and then everything fell into silence. A figure emerged from the curtain, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief himself, walking with the authority of a man who had nothing left to prove, yet everything to reclaim. His expression said more than any entrance music ever could. The WWE Universe had waited weeks for this moment, and now the silence was almost deafening. For months, tension had been brewing between Reigns and his once loyal enforcer, Solo Sikoa. The man who once followed every command now stood as the architect of a new empire, one built on the ashes of the old bloodline. The betrayal wasn't a single act, it was a slow fracture, one that finally split wide open as Solo surrounded himself with a ruthless new faction known as the MFTs. And while the world was busy debating where this story would go, Roman Reigns chose this night to speak his truth. This wasn't the arrogant tribal chief of old. It was a man tempered by battle, sharpened by legacy, and ready to reclaim the throne he built with his own hands. The rise of Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa's transformation didn't happen overnight. What began as quiet defiance has evolved into a full-blown rebellion. No longer the silent soldier at Roman's side, Solo has molded himself into a leader, commanding a new generation of warriors who carry his same relentless drive. The MFTs are not just a faction, they're a statement. They stand for rebellion, hunger, and dominance. Everything that once defined the bloodline, now reimagined through Solo's perspective. But with rebellion comes risk. Every step Solo takes into the spotlight pulls him further away from the shadow of his cousin and deeper into a storm of his own making. Fans have begun to question his motives. Is this about legacy, or is it about pride? Does Solo want to carry the bloodline name into the future, or does he want to erase it completely? Each week, his actions blur the line between honor and ambition, leaving the WWE Universe split. Some cheer for the rise of a new king, while others see it as an inevitable betrayal waiting to implode. Yet through all of it, one truth remains. Solo Sikoa's fire was sparked by the very man he now challenges. The vision in the shadows. While the world focuses on the family drama unfolding under the bright lights, another storm brews in the background. The Vision faction, led by the ever-calculating Paul Heyman, has been weaving its influence through the cracks of WWE like a silent whisper. Heyman's brilliance lies not in brute force, but in strategy. He knows when to move, when to stay quiet, and when to strike. For months, he has been manipulating narratives, aligning pieces, and perhaps even feeding the divide between Roman and Solo. The Vision doesn't need chaos to survive, it thrives on it. Rumors swirl that Heyman's plan is not to destroy the bloodline outright, but to watch it crumble under its own weight, then step in to rebuild something even stronger. Roman's speech tonight revealed that he sees the truth. The real threat isn't Solo's rebellion, it's the puppet master behind the curtain. The Vision faction wants power that transcends family loyalty, and for Roman Reigns, that's a line that cannot be crossed. Roman Reigns returns to claim his throne. When Roman Reigns walked into the ring tonight, the energy shifted. There were no bright lights, no fireworks, no entourage, just one man and his purpose. The tribal chief's presence alone demanded attention. He took the microphone, let the crowd noise fade, and began with a calm that was more unsettling than anger. "Solo," he said, "I see what you're building. I see your soldiers, but don't forget who showed you the way." The crowd erupted, sensing history unfolding before them. Roman's tone wasn't threatening. It was layered with disappointment, authority, and something rare for him, emotion. He reminded Solo that every skill, every ounce of leadership he now wields, began with Roman's own teachings. The crowd could feel the weight of those words. This wasn't just about power, it was about legacy. Then, in a chilling pause, Roman continued, "You can stand with me, or you can stand against me. But if you choose the latter, understand that there will be no coming back." The audience froze. This was no longer about family politics, it was about destiny. The evolution of the tribal chief gone is the tyrant who ruled through fear. The Roman Reigns who stood in the ring tonight was something entirely different. This was a man who had evolved, who now understood that true leadership isn't about forcing loyalty, but inspiring it. His words carried a new kind of authority, one rooted in wisdom rather than dominance. Roman's message to Solo wasn't about submission, it was about understanding. He acknowledged that Solo has grown into a capable leader, but reminded him that independence without purpose is chaos. The tribal chief's power has always come from his composure, the way he controls the storm rather than gets caught in it. And tonight, that composure turned into his greatest weapon. By offering Solo a choice instead of an ultimatum, Roman positioned himself as not just a ruler, but a kingmaker. He knows that loyalty chosen freely is far stronger than loyalty demanded. And with that subtle shift, Roman Reigns reminded the world why he remains one of the most complex and captivating figures in wrestling history. The Bloodline legacy at stake. At its core, this story isn't just about power, it's about legacy. The Bloodline has always been more than a faction. It's a dynasty built on respect, discipline, and family pride. From the Samoan wrestling lineage to the global empire Roman forged, this story is about the eternal question of what happens when the next generation decides to break away. Solo Sikoa represents that rebellion, the urge to define himself outside the shadow of the tribal chief. But legacy is not something easily escaped. Roman's speech tonight reminded everyone, including Solo, that greatness isn't inherited. It's earned through loyalty, sacrifice, and understanding where you come from. As Roman's words echoed through the arena, you could feel the shift. The WWE Universe understood that this is more than a rivalry. It's a philosophical battle between old and new, tradition and revolution. Every decision Solo makes from here on out will either strengthen the Bloodline's legacy or become the moment that shatters it forever. The path forward. As Roman Reigns lowered the microphone and stepped out of the ring, the energy didn't fade. It intensified. The crowd's chants of tribal chief thundered through the arena, but there was a new tension in the air. Everyone knew this was just the beginning. Solo Sikoa now stands at a crossroads. Will he choose to honor the dynasty that raised him, or will he ignite the flames of a civil war that could consume everything they've built? The Vision faction lurks in the shadows, ready to exploit any weakness, while the WWE Universe holds its breath. Roman's words tonight weren't just a speech, they were a declaration of intent, a reminder that the Bloodline story is far from over. One thing is certain, the next time Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa meet face to face, it won't just be a confrontation, it will be a defining moment in WWE history. The question is no longer whether the Bloodline can survive, it's whether the men who built it can rise above their pride to protect it. And until that answer comes, one truth remains unshaken. When the tribal chief speaks, the entire world listens.